Eddard Stark was a man who always did what he thought was right. He had a strong moral code. This code meant that justice, honesty, and doing your duty were the most important things in life. Ned believed in the old ways. He trusted that people were good deep down. This made him honorable. But it also made him vulnerable in the dangerous Game of Thrones. Ned's honor was his most important trait. Sadly, it was also his downfall. He couldn't understand how deceitful people could be. He didn't see how ruthless his enemies were. This made him an easy target for manipulation. His enemies used his honor against him. Ned's honor was clear in everything he did. He refused to lie. He kept his word. He always fought for what he believed was right. This made him a respected man. However, it also made him predictable. His enemies could guess what he would do. They used his honor to their advantage. In a world of changing alliances and secret plans, Ned's unwavering honor was a double-edged sword. It earned him respect, but made him vulnerable to those who played the Game of Thrones with cunning and ruthlessness. His strong principles blinded him to the true nature of his enemies. This ultimately led to his tragic downfall. Eddard Stark was a political outsider in King's Landing. He was unfamiliar with its customs. He didn't understand the intrigues. This made him vulnerable to those who did. He was surrounded by enemies. They understood the game far better than he did. Ned was isolated both politically and socially. He didn't trust the other lords. He saw them as corrupt and selfish. This distrust prevented him from forming alliances. These alliances could have protected him. He was alone in a den of lions. As Hand of the King, Ned was in a position of power. However, he didn't know how to use it. He made enemies quickly. He alienated potential allies. His sense of honor prevented him from playing the Game of Thrones effectively. Ned's political naivety was evident in his dealings with the Lannisters. He underestimated their ruthlessness. He failed to see their true intentions. This cost him dearly in the end. Ned Stark believed in justice. He believed in the rule of law. However, he failed to realize that justice was a foreign concept in King's Landing. The law was a tool. It was used by the powerful to stay in control. Ned's unwavering belief in justice blinded him to the realities of King's Landing. He clung to the hope that truth and righteousness would prevail. He didn't see that the game was rigged against him. His faith in the system was tragically misplaced. Ned's attempts to expose the truth about the Lannisters were met with resistance and deceit. He underestimated how evil they were. He overestimated the power of truth. His pursuit of justice ultimately led him to his doom. In the end, Ned Stark's faith in justice was his undoing. He refused to compromise his principles. He paid the ultimate price for it. His death served as a harsh lesson. In the Game of Thrones, justice is a fleeting illusion. Section 4. The Lioness's Web, Cersei Lannister's Manipulation and the Game of Thrones. Cersei Lannister was a master manipulator. She used Ned's honor against him. She played on his sense of duty. She manipulated him into a corner. He had no escape. Her cunning was unmatched. Cersei understood Ned's weaknesses. She knew he would choose honor over his own safety. She used this to her advantage. She maneuvered him into a position of vulnerability. This ensured his downfall. Cersei's manipulation of Ned was subtle yet effective. She planted seeds of doubt. She used his own sense of morality to trap him. She turned his strengths into weaknesses. This made him powerless against her. In the Game of Thrones, knowledge is power. Cersei understood this better than anyone. She used her knowledge of Ned's character to outmaneuver him. She secured her own position of power. She did it at the expense of his life. Section 5. Family First. Protecting the Starks at all costs. Ned Stark was a devoted father. He loved his family more than anything. He would do anything to protect them, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. This love was his greatest strength. It was also his greatest weakness. Cersei Lannister knew of Ned's love for his children. She used this to manipulate him. She threatened their lives. This forced Ned to make an impossible choice. He could choose honor and condemn his daughters to death. He could choose life and betray his principles. Ned's decision to confess to treason was driven by his desire to protect his daughters. He knew Cersei was ruthless. He believed she would harm them if he did not comply. His love for his family outweighed his own sense of honor. In the end, Ned Stark chose his children's lives over his own. It was a testament to his love as a father. It was also a tragic consequence of his involvement in the Game of Thrones. Section 6. The Price of Honor, Ned's Demise and the Clash of Ideals. Ned Stark's death was a pivotal moment in Game of Thrones. It shattered the illusion of honor. It exposed the brutal reality of King's Landing. His demise proved that good intentions were not enough. It showed that survival required ruthlessness. Ned's death was a direct result of his refusal to abandon his values. He clung to his honor. He held on to his belief in justice. This made him a pawn in a game he did not understand. His death was both tragic and inevitable. Ned's demise highlighted the clash between idealism and pragmatism. He represented the old ways. He believed in honor and duty. He was outmatched by the cynicism and ruthlessness of King's Landing. His death marked the end of an era. It ushered in a new age of darkness and uncertainty. Ned Stark's legacy is one of tragedy and sacrifice. He serves as a cautionary tale. He shows the dangers of clinging to honor in a world that does not value it. His death is a stark reminder that even the most noble of intentions can be twisted and used against you in the Game of Thrones. Hey everyone, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our new videos. Let's get started. Subscribing is super simple. Just click the red button below. All done? Awesome! And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and tell your friends. See you in the next one. Bye!